Okay, so the lighting isn't exactly right, but I want to make a video and talk about some things and talk to you guys, okay? So it's been a minute. It's good to see everybody. Basically, there's been a lot of really, really big changes in my life. I got to take one of these out so I can hear myself. Really big changes in my life. And there's also been some things that have stayed completely the same. And I get a lot of questions because I haven't uploaded in so many months. So there's like a backlog of all these different questions people have been asking me. And, like two of the most frequent questions are you still vegan and are you still on Suboxone? Because I was pretty open about that. I've always been open online about my you know, personal issues, which is really weird because then in person with people I actually know in real life, whether that's the church or whether that's, in my work or friends and stuff, I don't really talk about it. It's kind of, it's odd, but I feel comfortable talking about it on camera and online, even though there's consequences there too. But in person, I don't really mention it ever. Most people don't even know that I, have a history with drug addiction and that I was on a Suboxone maintenance program, which really sucked because it's like you have to go there every month, And so I want to talk about some of these things because, I feel like I've made a lot of progress and I feel like I'm ready to come back and be in front of the camera, which is important because it used to be really important to me, and I feel like there's been some lost years, obviously, because of my failings, because of my sins, and because of the fact that I was kind of still trapped on a opiate, right? Okay, so let's talk about diet and all that kind of stuff. Am I still vegan? Yes, I am still vegan. Now, have I come up short within, the last time I've talked to you guys or within the last 3 years or so? Yes, I have. But for the most part, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, right? Maybe not 365 days a year, but most of my life is vegan diet. It consists of fruits, veggies, beans, rice, sometimes, vegan chicken nuggets or hamburgers, stuff like that. If you go out or, they have stuff like that at the stores as well. Meatballs, vegan meatballs that you can use with pasta. So, yes, I am still vegan and it's important to me, right? It's like we can't do everything, right? It's very hard, especially if you're an average person every day in life. It's very hard to do everything. But I think, when it comes to being morally or environmentally conscious, right? And that's important to a lot of people these days, and I understand that. And we should be thinking about those kind of things. But I think veganism, at least for me, is a very simple way that I can contribute less to destruction, mayhem, and chaos, and evil, and um, abuse, uh, hurting the environment, things like this. Keeping a strict vegan diet is for me very simple. For other people, it's not simple. Other people, they struggle with it. But for me, I've been doing it for so long now, and I'm able to, even if I slip up, if it's a holiday and my Greek family serves me lamb or something, the very next day I'm able to just get back on the wagon, get back on veganism, and that's kind of how I view it. That's kind of, most people won't agree with this. Well, I don't know. A lot of people will agree with this, but there's going to be a lot of people that don't. And that's what's so crazy about our society is there's so much polarity and uh, back and forth, and it seems sometimes there's only really two ways to see things, and I don't want to get caught up in all that anymore because I have been caught up in that a lot. And there are people walking around and dumping trash on my video. So Awkward moment. Let's continue here. Oh, somebody else is dumping trash too. I am parked right outside by the dumpsters, so we have, pardon the distractions in my content. So yes, veganism, right? Fitness as well. I'd like to talk about diet and fitness and how it's related. I do a lot of fasting, right? And I've talked about this. And I get questions about the fasting too because I'm pretty open about it. I really like it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I do like it because it's very easy to, keep a certain look. Especially for my body type. If I eat a lot, if I even eat just a little bit too much than I should, I hold it. And so, fasting aesthetically really suits me. And I feel like I can, I function fine. I eat my calories mainly at night. And I don't fast, I guess, every day or every week. There are weeks where I kind of give it up, But recently, I've been fasting every single day for about 2 weeks. I did a 2-day fast, which I've never done before, over Greek Fest when I was catering the event. So I jog in the mornings or I go to the gym. And sometimes I only go to the gym for 25 minutes because, I got to look at the markets and I've got to go to work. I'm very, very busy these days. So, sometimes the gym is only maybe like a half an hour or so, maybe less than that. But I do something every day, whether it's walking, and I love going to the boardwalk. You'll see me on Instagram. I'm always on the boardwalk, always taking pictures of Virginia Beach and video, and I'll be shooting content out there because I love it. I love the beach, and I love running on the beach and walking on the beach and hanging out with people on the beach. So, yeah. The second question that I wanted to address, how was the Suboxone maintenance program going? Am I still on Suboxone? So the truth is that I got off of Suboxone about 2 months ago. I started weaning off maybe like 6 months ago, taking very small milligrams for weeks on end, and I'd slip up and take more than I should, and I'd have to get back down, and it was a process. But over about 6 months, well, I mean, actually over about a year and a half, I went from 12 milligrams to 8 milligrams to 4 milligrams to 2 milligrams to 1 milligram to a half a milligram to like 0.25. I mean, it was crazy. And so the very last day I ever took Suboxone, it was like, it could have been like probably 0.25 milligrams. And I took it, and then I went 24 hours without it. And I was like, all right, this is going to be rough, but this is my chance. Something, I don't know if it was a divine intervention. I don't know if it was something, that just emerged inside of me that I didn't know I had, but I found the motivation to just quit taking it, because it was something I took every morning, and 2 years ago I was taking it 3 times a day, and I think the industry tries to retain patients. They're trying to do a service, but they're trying to keep people stable, but they're also trying to keep you on this medication long term. So there was a lot of pressure for me from my doctor to not wean as fast as I was, and to really take more of my time with it. But that's not the kind of person I am. If I get into something, if I'm motivated about something, it could be something I've never studied before or something I've never looked at before, but I'll just dive in 100% for weeks, months, who knows. I was studying the Anglo-Saxon and Viking history of England for like the last year, reading Bede and Gildas and all of these older sources about ancient Britain, because I'm very, very interested in that, because, I think I have, on my mother's background, that's kind of, it's relevant, right? So, yeah, when I'm into something, something emerges inside of me, and I just go for it 100%. Kind of like making this video. The fact that I have the energy to talk about all this right now is, it feels like a divine grace, because at times I feel completely burnt out. But yeah, so getting off of the Suboxone, it was very, very difficult. The withdrawals were pretty hideous. Not to the point where you can't get up and do anything, but going to work was extremely difficult. The anxiety, I basically felt like an empty shell, for a good 2 weeks. And you have body aches, chills. I'm driving the forklift, and I just start shaking. I'm cold out of nowhere, or I'm sweaty, and it was it was pretty bad. It was pretty gross, and having to be at work. And so I fasted because, when you're going through withdrawal, your digestion is it's a little off track, we'll say. So I fasted pretty much the whole time because I had to go to work, and that was difficult as well. But it helped because I didn't have to worry about going to the bathroom and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm just being open and honest about my experience getting off of this shit, because I've seen some other videos of people talking about it, and it just kind of, it makes sense to address it. So yeah, and I still feel off, right? I do. I still feel off. I did use a lot of cannabis to relieve some of these withdrawal symptoms, and that I do think is helpful, but I also think it's it's something else that, there's something in my personality. I just become very addicted to things. I don't know why. And even if it's not drugs, it would be fitness. It could be music. I listen to songs that I like. I find the 1 hour loop, and I will listen to that 1 hour loop all day at work. One single song, because I'm obsessed with a song. There's something wrong with me, right? I'm compulsive, and this is how my mind is wired, right? And hey, I feel honest. I feel comfortable being honest like this online. I would never talk candidly like this in person with people. So it's bizarre when people from my outside life, from my real life, find my online content. So I do want to address that too, because I know there's, people out there watching. People at work tell me, "Oh, I found your videos, or I saw you singing on YouTube. It sounded really good." I'm just like, yeah, let's not talk about all that. But yeah, so being off of Suboxone is amazing. I'm also off of caffeine for the most part. I will drink an energy drink once in a while, or have a cup of coffee, but not in the mornings. I don't wake up and drink coffee or drink energy drinks. It's a very, very rare thing now. So I'm off the caffeine as well, and I don't vape anymore either. That was another thing. I was still vaping while I was getting off of Suboxone, but then about 2 weeks into it, I was like, just fuck this, and I quit vaping. And I've quit vaping and started vaping several times now, so that has definitely been something that I have struggled with. But being off the vape, the nicotine, and the Suboxone, I feel my energy levels are much more consistent, right? And I do the cold showers, which is great. And I try to sleep at night. I didn't do so well last night, but I think I went to bed at like midnight. But the insomnia, I think, is better off of the Suboxone, off of caffeine, and off of nicotine. So yeah, I wanted to share with you guys. I just felt, I don't know, divinely inspired because of all the comments, because of the backlog. And I recognize all the names. I remember everybody from all the different eras of content. And so, yeah, I wanted to at least talk about those things, because so many people have been asking me over the past 6 months or year or so. And, I do plan on coming back. So you guys know what my current interests are. My content pretty much says it all. I'm not going to over-explain. And with that, I will see you guys on the next video.